What up, boxing world? JF Sports. I want to talk to you guys about Triple G Golovkin and David Lemieux. I wanted to talk about this a couple days ago, but I thought I'd wait, before or after everybody else talk about it. So, anyways, this fight is gonna happen October 17th, and I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts on it. Golovkin, obviously, is making a big noise in the sport of boxing, especially in this division. As a matter of fact, they are having a hard time to fight or to find Golovkin an opponent. You got Canelo and Cotto, obviously, that's being mentioned next to Golovkin's name, but those two kind of like having an audition, first. Then one of those guys will fight Golovkin eventually. We'll see Golovkin versus Canelo, Golovkin versus Cotto soon, I hope. But we will see those fights. But anyhow, you got the Golovkin versus Lemieux. All right, Lemieux, Canadian citizen, young dude, about 25, 26 years old. Impressive record. Okay, 34 knockouts, or no, sorry, 31 knockouts, 34 fights total. Lost twice. All right. Now, a lot of boxing fans, specifically the social media, the hype that the boxing world, so to speak, is making out of this fight. To be totally honest with you guys, in my own opinion, I think it's bullshit. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. Golovkin is an exciting fighter. It's always exciting because he knocks people out. He is a very offensive fighter. He does not back down. He moves forward. All right. That's not so much of David Lemieux. Now, the thing that I disagree about this fight is that they're saying the Golovkin versus Lemieux's fight is going to be a big drama show, and that the fight is also going to be explosive. Now, if they're gonna freaking bullshit the boxing fans, they need to try harder, okay? Because David Lemieux is not about to give Golovkin an explosive, big drama show fight, all right? For some of you guys that know who David Lemieux is, he's only fought one fight in America, and that was with Gabriel Rosado, right? Which he TKO'd. I believe on the 10th round. Now, Golovkin did the same thing to Rosado, all right, but much quicker on the 7th round, and much more brutal and more beautiful knockout than how Lemieux did to Rosado. All right, just hear me out. One of the most notable loss that David Lemieux suffered was with Marco Antonio Rubio, which he was knocked out, all right, on the 7th, I think it was 7th round, or 2nd round, or 7th round, hold on. Where was I? Anyways. Okay, sorry, it was 7th round, not 2nd round. Okay, 7th round. David Lemieux lost to Marco Antonio Rubio on the 7th round. Now, if you guys remember, Marco Antonio Rubio was knocked out by Golovkin not too long ago. Matter of fact, it was last year, in 2 rounds. Okay? So you see the pattern here, alright? And if you guys have not seen how David Lemieux fights and his stance and his style, it's not explosive, alright? He does have over 30 knockouts against bum fighters, alright? Not putting down David Lemieux now, alright? I'm just telling you guys facts and the truth. He's never really faced anybody really solid. Somewhat of a solid dude, because he fought Marco Antonio Rubio 4 or 5 years ago when he was still a good fighter. He fought one solid dude and he gets knocked out. All right. Now, Marco Antonio Rubio, 4 or 5 years ago, is not even nowhere near close to Golovkin at the present time. Golovkin has much heavier hands, a great chin, and as explosive as he is a very offensive fighter. He comes to you and does not back down. So, like I said, the boxing world and the media, and they're going to feed us some bullshit. Like they said, that the Golovkin versus Lemieux fight is going to be a big drama show, and that it's going to be an explosive fight. Don't believe that hype. Alright? The way I see this, Golovkin, it would be an easy work. Okay? David Lemieux has only fought in America once, and I said this to you guys, with Gabriel Rosado. And Gabriel Rosado was actually knocked out by David Lemieux on the 10th round. Alright? But Triple G Golovkin knocked out the same opponent as David Lemieux fought in only 7 rounds. Okay? And like I said, it's much more sweeter knockout. It was more of a almost a mismatch fight. Alright? That's just me though. So, in my opinion, the only reason why they're trying to say all this explosive big drama show is obviously to hype the fight up, so you can make more money. Alright? I mean, David Lemieux got a country behind him, which is Canada, and obviously Golovkin. You got a lot of U.S. supporters for Golovkin, and also Kazakhstan, right? Yes, it's going to be a fight. It's going to be an okay fight. But it ain't going to be no big drama show or what they say, explosive fight like this was Golovkin versus Cotto, or Golovkin versus Canelo, or Canelo versus Cotto, or Cotto versus, you know what I mean? It's not going to be like that. You know, they're making it sound like this. They can't find an opponent for Golovkin at the moment. This is like a tune-up fight for when Canelo versus Cotto happens, and whoever wins that fight, then they get to face Golovkin. You know, they're trying to build Golovkin. As a matter of fact, you guys already know Golovkin, like I said, is a solid fighter. Very good fighter, impressive resume, very high knockout percentage, but for some odd reason, he's still not a pay-per-view sensation. You know what I mean? When all Golovkin's record, he should be already at top, you know? But you guys already know, if you're a true boxing fan, you will know that Golovkin's number not necessarily matches with his record. You know what I mean? He still needs to be hyped. Golovkin's record, or Golovkin himself needs to be hyped and uplifted and promote. You know what I'm saying? He's not selling as much pay-per-view, or his fights are not selling as they should be. You know what I'm saying? That's why they wanted to fight against Mayweather, which Mayweather is not willing to go down 154, even though Golovkin said he would go down 154 to fight Mayweather. Is not going to happen. Forget that fight. Now, the next big thing for Golovkin is either Cotto or Canelo. Okay, we all know that. So, like I said again once more, if they're gonna try to feed us some bullshit like the Golovkin versus Lemieux fight is gonna be explosive and a big drama show, they need to try harder. They're not fooling anybody. Alright? They can say all of that to hype the fight up the pay-per-view, whatever, you know, but they gotta try harder. Alright, that's just me though. Do your homework and watch some of David Lemieux's fight, and you tell me that with his style, technique, his skills inside the ring is enough to give Golovkin a big drama show or an explosive fight. Right? Just watch, I don't know, David Lemieux versus Gabriel Rosado, or Marco Antonio Rubio versus David Lemieux. Just watch that fight and compare that with Golovkin versus Golovkin versus Rosado, and and you guys make conclusions for yourself and let me know what you think. Comment down below and tell me that your prediction of this fight is going to be a big drama show, that it's going to be a, what is it, an explosive fight. Like I said, Abel Sanchez and everybody else, you know, the promotions, they're trying to hype this fight up like it's one of the best fights that Golovkin is going to have. Well, it isn't. Alright? This is a tune-up fight. Golovkin just needs to fight so he don't have that long layoff, alright, before fighting Canelo or Cotto sometime next year maybe. You know, and he'll be regularly fighting, you know, have no layoff. You know, they can't really find a solid opponent for Golovkin, you know. Andre Ward, he just got back in the game. You know, he's been there for 19 months. He just won against some bum guy, and that's it. I mean, he's not necessarily ready for Golovkin, even though a lot of fans said, oh yeah, you know, Andre Ward just won against this guy after a long 19-month layoff, and he did well. Yeah, it was a bum opponent, all right? So, like I said, they're going to try to feed us this BS, and you're going to be a sucker to actually believe that the Golovkin versus Lemieux is going to be an explosive, big show drama fight. They're going to try harder because they're not convincing me, okay? Like I said, as far as I know, Golovkin, Lemieux will be an easy work. Alright, I'll do my prediction of that fight when the time comes, when I get close to the fight. But let me know what you guys think. If Golovkin versus David Lemieux, it's going to be a big drama show and an explosive fight. Alright? Let me know what you guys think. Drop me a comment. And I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.